The wind howled through the empty streets as Emily Carter pulled her coat tighter around her body. It had been 6 weeks since her world had come crashing down. 6 weeks since her twin children, Ava and Noah, had vanished without a trace. She had scoured every corner of the city, visited every police station, put up posters on every available surface, and begged anyone who would listen for help. But all she ever received were pitying looks and empty condolences. The night air was biting, but the cold she felt was deeper, embedded in her bones. She hadn't eaten properly in days, nor had she slept more than a few hours at a time. Her only focus was finding her children. As she wandered through the dimly lit streets, she found herself in a part of town she rarely ventured into. The flickering neon sign of a 24-hour diner cast eerie shadows on the pavement, and she noticed a group of homeless people huddled together for warmth. She hesitated for a moment before stepping closer. Desperation had stripped her of pride long ago. "Excuse me," she said, her voice trembling. "Have any of you seen these children?" She held up a worn and crumpled flyer, the edges frayed from weeks of handling. Most of the group shook their heads or ignored her, but one woman, her face lined with age and hardship, studied the photo carefully. Her gray eyes flickered with something Emily couldn't quite place. I think I saw them," the woman murmured, her voice hoarse. Emily's heart lurched in her chest. "What? Where? When?" she demanded, stepping forward. The woman hesitated before whispering, "Check the KFC bathroom." Emily felt the world tilt beneath her feet. KFC? Of all the places she had searched, she had never thought to check a fast food restaurant's restroom. Her pulse pounded as she tried to contain the hope threatening to burst from her chest. It was likely a false lead. She had followed so many dead ends before. But she couldn't afford to ignore even the slimmest possibility. Without another word, she turned and ran, her breath hitching as she pushed herself forward. The KFC in question was only a few blocks away, and the closer she got, the more her hands shook. She shoved the door open and rushed inside, ignoring the startled looks from the employees and customers. Her eyes darted around the dining area, but there was no sign of her children. Her stomach twisted as she made her way toward the restroom. With a trembling hand, she pushed open the door. Inside, the smell of cleaning products mixed with something musty. The dim lighting flickered slightly, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Her breath came in short gasps as she took a cautious step forward. And then she heard it. A small whimper. Emily's heart nearly stopped. She turned toward the last stall, the door slightly ajar. With a shaking hand, she pushed it open fully and gasped. There, huddled in the corner, were her children, Ava and Noah. Tears flooded her eyes as she dropped to her knees, pulling them both into her arms. They were thin, their clothes dirty, but they were alive. "Mommy?" Noah's voice was weak, uncertain, as though he didn't believe what he was seeing. "Yes, baby, it's me," she choked out. "I'm here. I found you." Ava buried her face into Emily's shoulder, sobbing uncontrollably. "We were so scared," she whispered. "A bad man took us, but we escaped." Emily tightened her grip on them, her heart shattering at their words. "You're safe now. No one will ever hurt you again." But even as she held them, relief coursing through her veins, she knew this was far from over. Whoever had taken her children was still out there, and she was going to find them, no matter what it took. The ride home was filled with sobs and whispered reassurances. Emily wrapped her coat around them, holding them close as she flagged down a cab. The driver shot her a wary glance but said nothing as she gave him her address. The twins were exhausted, their bodies weak from malnutrition and fear. Emily kissed their foreheads over and over, never wanting to let go. When they reached home, she carried them inside and set them on the couch. Ava clung to her while Noah simply stared at the floor, his hands gripping his sister's tightly. "Sweetheart, can you tell me what happened?" Emily asked gently, brushing Ava's tangled hair from her face. Ava hesitated, then nodded. A man took us. He had a van. He said he needed help finding his puppy. Emily's stomach churned. She had warned them about strangers. She had gone over the rules 1,000 times, but they were only 6 years old. They had trusted someone they shouldn't have. Noah's lip quivered. He put us in a basement. There were other kids, too. But we got away. Emily's heart slammed against her ribs. Other kids? This wasn't just about Ava and Noah. This was bigger. Where was it? Do you remember anything about the house? She asked, her voice urgent. Ava nodded. It was near a train. We could hear it at night. Emily's mind raced. There was an abandoned warehouse near the old train yard. Could that be it? She knew she should call the police, but after weeks of them brushing her off, she had no faith left in them. She had to see for herself. Stay here, she whispered, tucking a blanket around them. I'll be right back. The twins clung to her hands, fear in their eyes. Mommy, don't go, Ava pleaded. Emily kissed their foreheads. I have to. I have to stop him before he hurts anyone else. With a deep breath, she grabbed a flashlight, a kitchen knife, and her car keys. The night was cold as she drove toward the train yard, her heart pounding. She had no plan, only instinct. When she reached the warehouse, she parked a distance away and crept closer. The place was dark, but a faint light flickered inside. She pressed herself against the wall and peered through a cracked window. Her blood ran cold. Inside, she saw a group of children huddled together. And near them was a man, tall, muscular, with a scar running down his cheek. He paced back and forth, muttering to himself. Emily clenched the knife in her hand. She wasn't leaving without those kids. And if she had to fight for them, so be it.